Right then, everybody, it is FA Cup weekend, and Manchester United have been drawn against Watford. Now, Watford are one of the most trigger-happy manager-sacking teams that are out there, and they're in that flu at the moment. Xisco Munoz is the man currently in charge, and it was Vladimir Ivic that was sacked last month as manager of Watford, and Munoz has had 2 games in charge where he's gone with a 4-4-2, so I would assume you're looking at a 4-4-2 again from him, unless he drops one back into midfield to try and maybe bolster the numbers there and only goes with a sole striker. Ben Foster, you might recognise the name. They've also got Jimmy Garner. Those are in the squad. I don't think Jimmy Garner will play. I think he's probably going to be given the night off because he's facing his old club. But it's definitely going to be Ben Foster who is going to start for them in goal. If you've not seen it as well, Ben Foster's actually got his own YouTube channel. It's the cycling goalkeeper. He takes the GoPro, sticks it in the goal. And it's fantastic. I think he got in trouble a little bit last week as one of the goals he conceded, the striker went up to it, grabbed the camera, and I think he's in a little bit of bother because of that. So I don't know if he's going to be doing that against United. I would recommend it probably isn't the best idea for him. Xisco's gone with the same back 4 in the 2 matches that he's played, so I think it's pretty likely he's going to stick with the same one. Firmino's going to start at right back, and I think Ngakia on the left. Francisco Serialta and Ben Wilmot are likely to be the newly formed centre-half partnership that he will go with when playing at Old Trafford. They've got another ex-Red in Tom Cleverley, and I would expect Tom starts in central midfield with Shabala or Kapui, I would have thought. Ismail Assar, obviously linked with a move to United last summer. He's probably going to be lining up on the right wing with fullback turned winger Ken Sema on the left. Troy Deeney is still a threat up front, and I think he'll most likely be partnered with Andre Gray. It's a useful little Watford side, and it's one that certainly could hurt United, but I do expect a fully rotated United side is capable of dealing with this side. The star man, I think it's Ken Sema, to be honest. He started the season playing at fullback for Watford, but since he's been pushed up onto the wing, he's been their most creative threat. In all competitions for them this season, he's got 4 assists, which isn't too bad, twice as many as any other Watford player. He's also created 28 chances in 20 games, with an average of 1.4 chances per 90, and again, twice as many as any other Watford player this season. And we know United don't really enjoy dealing with those low deliveries across the face of goal, into the box, and that's Sema all over. That's the one thing that he's going to be providing with, and that's something that we're going to have to watch and be aware of when it comes to this game. My United 11 for this game, massively rotated, massively capable still of doing it. This is something that you can see Solskjaer is benefiting from, is his work in bolstering the squad. Still not quite fully sorted out up front, and we'll get into that a little bit later on. But here's my team. I'm going with Henderson in net. I'm going with Williams right back. I'm going with Telles left back, Baye and Tuanzebe at centre half. I'm going with McTominay and Van der Beek as a pair of 6s in a double pivot. Obviously, Van der Beek will be given a little bit more license to move the ball forward, and it might actually at times look like a 4-3-3. I'm going with Juan Mata in the 10. I don't like him when he's played out wide, but I think in the 10, in the Bruno role, he can be very effective, especially when he's got pace ahead of and around him, and that he will certainly have in this team, with Mason Greenwood on the right, Dan James on the left, and Tony Marshall down the middle up front. 2 players desperately need a rest for Manchester United, arguably 3 with Maguire. Maguire never gets a rest, so actually I wouldn't even be shocked to see him start in defence. But Maguire, Bruno, Marcus Rashford, let's get them players a rest and let's have them ready for the next game. I would love to have played Cavani in this. I think this is a game that would really suit him. Likewise for Ighalo. I've not played him because I think that Solskjaer's probably not going to play him. But if we were to play him and also give Tony Marshall the night off, I think that would be a phenomenal use of our squad depth. A couple of other players that might have been featuring. Some people may be thinking that Ahmad might feature Diallo. I'm not unsure. He's literally just arrived. I would be shocked if he started, but I wouldn't be shocked if he got 10 minutes off the bench to let's have a bit of a look at him, because it's probably one of the most favourable games, providing that we're winning, where we could bring him on and have a look at him. Pellistri was another one that's been training with the first team, and one that you might have thought would be given an opportunity in this game, but he's just come down with coronavirus, so he's not going to feature. Ethan Laird, again, Mengi. Would love to see these guys involved. And I think they could be. I just don't think they'll start if they are involved. What do we need to look out for, and how can United exploit this team then? So, when out of possession, Watford's defensive strategy is usually to press the opposition and initial build-up using their two forward players, their two strikers. If this is bypassed, they drop down into a very, very deep and narrow block. It's pretty basic stuff. When they're in the narrow block, they go for a ball-focused press, just looking towards the guy in possession, attempting to win the ball back by outnumbering their opponent. A problem that they face in this setup is one United can definitely look to exploit, and that is the fact that the defensive line can often get caught out being dragged higher and higher and higher up the pitch. That's why I went for pace with Greenwood, with Marshall, and with Dan James. Weirdly, for a team that plays a low block, and this is potentially why they rotate through so many managers, the positional discipline of the players doesn't have the confidence to just sit there and go, no. You come at us. They get drawn into challenges they're not supposed to be. They don't have the positional discipline to hold their line. The back four holding together, keeping equal distances between everybody and being narrow and compact, and more importantly, in a line, is so important. This Watford team can get dragged out of shape, and this Watford team can get dragged up the pitch, and United can get in behind. It's going to be a great opportunity for the likes of Greenwood, for James, and hopefully for Donny van der Beek, because for me, if he doesn't start, then there really actually does need to be questions. People need rotating. He needs minutes. It's such a comfortable game for him to feature in. Why is he not going to play? If he doesn't play, we need to know why, because this isn't really on if that's the case. And I will be looking at Donny van der Beek in conjunction with Juan Mata, being the one that puts on these defence-splitting passes, puts the ball in behind, round the corner, and gets United in the mixer. Another potential area that United could benefit from here is an aerial focus. Watford have been dreadful in the air this season, whether that's from open play or from set pieces. They've won only 18.2 aerial duels per game in the Championship, which ranks them 20th amongst the teams in that division. The 400 aerials that they've collectively won ranks 23rd out of 24 in the league, so they are by no means confident when the ball is in the air. United can exploit this by aiming for back post with the deliveries, threading balls out onto the wing and crossing them in from open play. This, again, is where I would love to have seen Odion Ighalo play. He's playing against his old club. Bit of a last dance for him before he goes back to China. I'd have loved to have seen it. It's a shame Edison Cavani's not available for this as well, because the aerial threat that he can offer in these situations would have massively worked in United's favour. We have got height at set pieces, and we have got the delivery ability with Tellez. I would think that Tuanzebe and Baye and McTominay, who's done all right, to be fair to him, at set pieces, are capable of getting on the end of that. Mason Greenwood, I think he's going to grow into a big frame eventually, but at the moment, he's still very much a bit of a child. So I would say Mason's not quite ready yet, but with the good deliveries and the space that I expect him to have, maybe aiming for Mason Greenwood on the back post from Tellez crosses might be a way that United can exploit these. I think United are going to win. I think United should be winning this game. A reaction is needed from the dismal performance against Manchester City, who were just outclassed. A little bit of confidence to go into that Burnley game, which is now vital. And then obviously if we can build up a little bit of head of steam before we go to Anfield, that is what's important. One game at a time, turn up, play well, because playing well leads to other things, and that's what United need to do, because we didn't play well and we've had a couple of off games. Let's use this opportunity for some people to get much needed rest, and let's try and get ourselves a victory on this. But let me know your score predictions, your key men, what changes you want to see, which players that you think are definitely going to start, which ones would you like to see given an opportunity, whether that is Diallo or anybody else, Mengi or Laird perhaps. Let me know in the comments, and I guess I'll see you all for the watch along on Saturday night. Laters.